everyone and welcome back to my true crime channel. Today I want to discuss more of my thoughts on the red flags that have been flying for Candus and Don ever since Hunter gave his interview. So I have already done a couple of videos on Hunter's interview that he gave to an ex-homicide detective, but there's so many things after listening to that interview over and over again that have been raised in my mind, and I'm wondering if you guys are feeling the same. Today, in this video, I just want to discuss whether or not Summer could have potentially drowned, or not partially drowned, but gone under the water long enough to take in water into her lungs, and could that be ultimately what may have led to Summer's disappearance or death? So yet another red flag was risen by Hunter in his interview, and it was a red flag for Candus and for Candus's mum, Summer's grandmother, Candy. Now, apparently, Summer went under the water, which could be for a sort of somewhere between a 5 and a 20-second period, according to Hunter. He got really panicked when they were at the creek, and he went in to make sure that Summer was okay. She said that she was just swimming around under the water, and that after that period of time, you know, when they leave the creek and go back to the car, Summer was okay, but that she did go under the water, and it really concerned him. And what was really concerning is that Summer's grandmother and mother didn't even notice. He said they were busy talking. So obviously we don't know this is true. I personally do believe Hunter's account. I know not everybody does. I think maybe he has embellished the odd thing to sort of exaggerate, but he's a 15-year-old boy. I don't feel he's telling fibs or lies. I do think he's being genuine. I don't think he had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, but there's so many weird things that have gone on here. How did two people that are grown adults not notice that a little kid had gone under the water for so many seconds? Now, perhaps Summer's a really good swimmer, and perhaps she likes swimming underwater, because I did when I was a kid, but for parents to not notice that and leave a 15-year-old boy there who really was being used as a babysitter whilst Candus and her mother could have a bit of a chat and relax, pick some flowers at the creek, smoke some vapes, do whatever they were doing, or Candus at least, and perhaps Hunter was just being used as a babysitter. But I'm also wondering, was Hunter used as a pawn in this whole story of Summer Wells's disappearance? So I did say in one of my other videos that I've already done on Hunter's interview, how come Candus got in touch with him the day of Summer's disappearance to meet up because their grandmother had to pop in the hospital because of a bad knee, when they hadn't really been on a friendly basis for some time, when their parents, his mother and Candus, had fallen out, and they weren't really in regular contact? It's not adding up to me. It really isn't adding up to me, and I'm starting to wonder if Hunter was used as a pawn to make this whole Summer's disappearance look plausible, because obviously he did see her that day. He did see that she was alive. They did go to the creek and to these shops afterwards and to get the grandmother's prescription. So all of these things happened, and he was able to be a witness to say, yes, that happened, that happened. But the problem is Candus probably didn't realise he was going to, not necessarily turn on her, but tell the police the truth, that she'd given him alcohol when he shouldn't have done. And quite a lot of other things he told the police that she probably wasn't very happy about. The fact that she goes to the house and, you know, sort of demands to know what he's told the police, none of this is sitting very well with me. And I didn't think it was possible for there to be any more red flags for those parents. But let's face it, guys, red flags are flying for Candus, especially Candus, and for Don Wells. So a lot of people have speculated and wondered, if Summer did go under the water for a period of time and water got into her lungs, could she have passed away in the car on the way home? Personally, I'm not too sure on that one. Normally with children and drowning, it does happen quite quickly. It's not normally something that happens hours down the line. I'm not saying that doesn't happen at all, but with children, it's quite rare. Now, what I'm wondering, and now other people are wondering, is could Summer have been left in that car for a number of, not hours, but minutes, when it was really hot? Could the windows have been closed, and could she have got too hot in the car and passed away from sort of heat exhaustion? Or could it be that she bumped her head at the creek, as I originally thought might have happened, and she passed out and was unconscious in the car? By the time they get home, she's died. That does seem really plausible to me, but there are so many possible theories here of what could have happened. You know, was the little girl come to harm on purpose? Hopefully not. But did she have an accident? And if so, what sort of an accident? Could it have even been an accident in the car, in that she was left in a hot car? None of this is adding up. I appreciate she was propped up against cold milk, so perhaps it wasn't a sort of heat exhaustion, you know, being left in a car to overheat and die. Perhaps it wasn't that. But none of this adds up. And this case, I didn't think it could, but it's getting more and more bizarre by the bloody day. I can't get my head around it. So I don't know. I mean, I can't get my head around this. It clearly shows neglect if neither the grandmother or the mother noticed that someone had gone under the water. Even if she swims like a little fish and she likes going underwater, a 5-year-old girl should be kept, watched the whole time that they are swimming. All the time they should be watched. They shouldn't be left to do their own thing. They're only 5. And at 5, you don't know right from wrong. From what they've said of Summer, she was quite trusting and would trust anybody, which does mean she could have been abducted, but in my opinion, it doesn't, because I don't buy the abduction theory. I never have. I don't think there was enough time between Candus saying Summer went in the house to Summer being abducted 2 minutes later, unless, and I have said this in my other videos, someone was already lying in wait in that basement and took her away, maybe gagged her, but there would have been some sort of evidence in the woods, maybe DNA evidence. They could have dropped something. So the abduction theory still isn't adding up to me, and I'm now wondering, is it an accident? And I'm still wondering, could it have something to do with drugs and the underworld? Kids do get sold to drug dealers. It has happened before. A lot of people are claiming that Candus only smokes marijuana, but from some of the things Hunter's and his family said, she used to be a meth addict. Obviously, we don't know if that's true. We can only speculate. But if hard drugs have been going on, there could have been a big debt to a drug dealer. And I'm just wondering, I know it's not a nice thought, but could Summer have been given to the drug dealer to pay off the debt? Now, obviously, guys, I hope I'm wrong on that. I'm hoping Summer Wells is going to be found safe and well. But the fact that Hunter sort of felt the need to mention about her going under the water, I know it maybe then was made to look like Candus and her mother, Summer's grandmother, were being negligent and not looking after their daughter. But the reason he mentioned it, I think, is that he was worried about it, worried that maybe that's why Summer died, because if she has died, because perhaps she got water into her lungs from this incident. And I think it's been weighing on Hunter's mind, and that's why he said it. I don't think it's a made-up story, but this just keeps getting weirder and weirder. This case, could it get more bizarre? So as always, guys, I'm keeping my BDI on this case. There are a lot more videos that I want to get out next week. I'd like to do a statement analysis of Don's latest interview and of Candus's. There's a telephone interview that Don did about a week ago that I'd still like to do a statement analysis of. I've not had time. Been so busy this past week, but I'd like to get a few videos out analysing the parent statements. I've not done a full analysis of Hunter's interview. He's only 15 years old. I don't feel it's appropriate, but I will tell you now, I don't detect deception from Hunter, not one iota. He may have exaggerated the odd thing, but he's a 15-year-old boy. That's what 15-year-old boys do. They don't, always tell it like it is, but I don't detect that he's lying. He may have exaggerated certain things, but I don't think he's bad-mouthed Candus or her mother, the grandmother of Summer, on purpose. I think he just said how he felt. So I do have a feeling there's going to be a break in this case soon, guys. I do think something's going to happen in the next week. I really hope it's not that Summer isn't found alive. I'm praying for that little girl's safe return. She's on my mind every day. The fact that the brothers have been took away is horrific. I feel so sorry for them. I hope the grandmother has come back, because she was meant to have gone off for 3 months, to perhaps do something about these boys. If, they are in care and they do need to be, put back with another family member. Maybe they're not going to be put with the grandma, but I'm hoping and praying, not just for Summer's safe return, but that there's a family member out there that isn't an addict or negligent, that can take these boys in. Well, as I always say, guys, please pop your comments below. Keep discussing this case. Keep Summer in your hearts. Keep telling me how you feel. Do you think she could have drowned, and do you think it's possible to get water in your lungs and hours later die? Or do you think it's more likely that she banged her head, was concussed, and died in the car? Have you heard people saying that maybe Summer got too hot in the car and was left in the car when everyone went to the shop, and she passed away then? But according to Hunter, she was playing, well, not playing, but watching TikTok videos and laughing and joking before she fell asleep. So she certainly wasn't passed away when she first got back into the car. She was apparently alive, according to Hunter. So this is so weird. I can't get my head around it. But the parents are looking more and more dodgy to me. I always felt that they were dodgy in the first interview I ever saw them give. And I'm just wondering, as I am always wondering, what the hell has happened to Summer Wells? So please continue sharing your thoughts with me, guys. I've really enjoyed reading all of your thoughts on this. It's so interesting to get other people's perspective, especially people from America that know how the LE or the law enforcement work over there. We tend to call it just the police here. So sorry if I do sometimes say the police and you guys call it LE. We certainly do not call it that here in England. We just call it the police. But yeah, I really hope the law enforcement and the TBI are closing in on this case. I'm sure they have suspects, whether it's the parents, who could say, but personally, I think they probably do suspect the parents. Well, as I said, guys, I've got many more videos coming out on summer. I will have a few more out this week. I do hope to do a statement analysis of Don and Candus's most recent interviews that they've given in the past couple of days. I'm really enjoying watching other true crime videos on other channels on YouTube to get information on this. And some of the interviews that, Hunter's family have given and Hunter gave, not only that, Candus and Don, this is also interesting that they're willing to speak to people on the internet when there's an active investigation. It's so fast moving, and I can't think of another case where you can access what the parents are saying so openly and freely on YouTube. So one thing I do hope and pray is, with us all doing these videos on YouTube, with you brilliant guys out there commenting and sharing your thoughts, let's hope and pray that Summer Wells is going to be found safe and well soon, and that this very weird and mysterious and strange case comes to an end soon. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you're all taking care of yourselves and staying safe. I hope you're all well. And as always, I'll be back very soon with another true crime video. Bye for now.